Welcome to the 100th anniversary of the Tenrikyo Honjima Grand Church. The Grand Church is located in the inland sea of Japan, which leads to the Pacific Ocean. The Grand Church was established in 1902 and is only accessible by ferry from the city of Marugame. Not only were the members celebrating the 100th anniversary, but also the installation of the 6th head minister of the Grand Church, as well as the completion of the new followers' dormitory. 3 years of planning went into the making of this memorable event. The Honjima Fellowship was first established in 1902 when it began its missionary work in Japan and abroad. The Honjima Grand Church has much history behind it. It was first commissioned as a branch church in 1925, and later it became a grand church in 1940. The church has had 5 head ministers since its inception. First head minister, Reverend Naohide Takahashi, from 1902 to 1909. Second head minister, Reverend Yoshizo Katayama, from 1909 to 1942. Third head minister, Reverend Toshitsugu Katayama, from 1942 to 1984. Fourth head minister, Reverend Noboru Katayama, from 1984 to 1986. Fifth head minister, Reverend Yoshie Katayama, from 1986 to 2002. And now, the installation of the 6th head minister, Reverend Kanta Katayama, during the 100th anniversary of the Honjima Grand Church on this joyous day of May 21st, 2002. And now let's go into the actual service. Before beginning the service, food offerings are made to God the Parent, Oya-sama the Foundress, and the Memorial Shrine. The 6th head minister delivered his opening prayer. Tenrikyo Honjima, who is enshrined in this altar, I, Kanta Katayama, head minister of the Tenrikyo Honjima Grand Church, invoke with reverence. O God the Parent, because of your profound intention to save us, your children, you have watched over us since the beginning, and you have guided us safely along the path of spiritual maturity. And we are truly grateful for your boundless parental love and blessings. Taking to heart the joy of being nurtured toward the path of the joyous life. Although our efforts may not be sufficient, we are spirited in making repayment for your blessings, and we are striving to single-heartedly save others. In this midst, we have welcomed the centennial anniversary of the Honjima Grand Church since its establishment on November 30th, 1902. And it goes without saying that it is due to God the Parent and Oya-sama's warm blessings that our branch churches and its followers from both near and far are being led on the splendid path of today. But we are also indebted to our predecessors who leaned on the voice of the Parent. And with deep gratitude in our hearts, I wish to offer our thanks to them. The number 100 refers to a returning to a clean slate of 0 and to start out anew. Taking these words to heart, We pray for the blessings of a new flower to bloom from this once-in-a-lifetime season. We have made the firm spiritual resolution for this 3-year, 1,000-day period leading to the centennial anniversary with the motto of the spiritual construction that precedes the physical construction. We were able to repair the sanctuary and construct the new followers' dormitory and dining hall, receiving the protection of God the Parent's parental heart. We were able to experience the joy of witnessing the safe completion of this physical construction. My heart is filled with gratitude, and on this wonderful day, honored by the presence of Shinbashira and Mrs. Harue Nakayama, it is the greatest joy for me to be able to hold the installation service. In addition, the centennial anniversary commemorative service as the 6th head minister. And I accept this honorable position in accord with God the Parent's intention, and I will strive to fulfill my duties.
ここにこと改めてことのよしと心からの御礼を申し上げ
Expressing our sincere gratitude. From now, the service performers, along with the many followers of the path, are gathered here before you to express our gratitude for the multitudes of blessings we receive daily. Uniting our minds, we shall sing the songs for the service and perform the seated service and the hand dance joyously and spiritedly, just as you have taught us. We pray that you, God the Parent, as well, will become spirited as you witness our sincerity. On this wonderful day, in which we take one step on the new path of the next 100 years, we pledge to strive with a burning sense of mission for the universal salvation of all humankind, keeping our sights on the coming 120th anniversary of Oya-sama as our milestone for renewed spiritual growth. We pledge to strive forward in our duties of universal salvation with joyous and spirited minds. By all means, God the Parent, whatever faults or shortcomings we may have, please guide us so that we may spend each day in spiritual growth. In union with the whole congregation present, I humbly pray, may it be so. This marks the end of the opening prayer, and now begin the preparations for the actual service. The center shrine is for God the Parent, the creator and protector of all humankind. The shrine on the right is that of Oya-sama, Miki Nakayama, the foundress, and the shrines on the left are the memorial shrines dedicated to our ancestors. In our faith, we do not call God, God the Father, nor do we address God with the pronoun He. We know of God as neither man nor woman, but as our loving parent, God the Parent. In attendance today was the head patriarch of Tenrikyo, the Shinbashira, and his wife, to commemorate the installation of the 6th head minister and the 100th anniversary of the Honjima Grand Church. Today's service begins with the seated service prayer, which recreates the story of the original creation of humankind and is also a prayer for the universal salvation of the whole world. The first section of the seated service is done 21 times. We sing Ashiki o harote tasuke tamae tenryo no mikoto, which means sweeping away evils, please save us, tenryo no mikoto. We ask God to sweep away the bad things, including our mental dust, to save us, and then we recite the name of God the Parent, Tenryo no Mikoto. The remainder of the service is done with the standing hand dance. This service helps us cleanse our minds of our mental dust, and we ask God the Parent to protect others as well as ourselves. Oyasama the Foundress taught us about the 8 mental dusts or attitudes of the mind that we should sweep from our minds daily. The 8 mental dusts are greed, arrogance, miserliness, covetousness, anger, hatred, grudge-bearing, and selfish love. These mental dusts will naturally accumulate over time and will come to cloud our minds so that we will not be able to see things clearly or even be able to live joyously. Living joyously is the purpose for which God the Parent created all human beings and is our reason for being on this earth today. In the hand dance, the movements and steps were specifically taught by Oyasama to communicate God's intention through those hand movements. In Tenrikyo, we are taught that prior to October 26, 1838, God had already instructed humankind on 9/10 of God's teachings through various wise men, prophets, and religions. Finally, on October 26, 1838, God the Parent directly revealed God's self to teach the final 1/10 of God's teachings to the world. The mission of the Tenrikyo faith is to help all humankind be able to lead a joyous life in this lifetime on this earth. After this service, the Shinbashira presented a message on what we must do now and in the future to lead a joyous life.
The promise that was made with God the Parent and Oyasama 100 years ago must be your promise now. I hope to think that this is the way of thinking for those of us who walk the path which continues on to eternity. At this opportune time of the centennial anniversary of the establishment of your church, one must clearly confirm how to walk the path in the future to come by looking back on how you have come on the path until now. I believe that this is the significance of this day. I believe this may be one way to think about the significance of this day. Also, in addition, the head minister has changed. If the truth of a church name is for all eternity, as I have just mentioned, thinking from this, I believe it is appropriate to think that the truth of head minister is also eternal. A head minister, however, is a human being, so the same person cannot continue to be the head minister. It is therefore that sometimes a time will come when it must be handed down to the next person. Though the people who come to this church may change as the time goes by, it is when they can maintain the mind of those who requested to establish a church that they will be able to receive blessings in the form of a church. I would like you to think about this again. The path of Honjima has continued to this day, but there must have been many things along the way. However, whatever kind of path there may have been along the way, it was thanks to your ancestors and the predecessors who came before you who have left you their footsteps as they followed the divine model of Oyasama. Those of you who are following these ancestors and predecessors have the responsibility to stand on those footsteps that your predecessors have left you, and this time to step a little further and furthering what they have left for you. On the other hand, you also have the role of nurturing the successors who will follow you. You have a role and responsibility of nurturing. Even if the location of the church, the shape of the building, or the people change, what must not change are the people's minds. And from this point, I asked that the spirit of the church not wither from this time, but rather may all unite their minds and strive on under the directions of the new head minister, so that oneself and others will be able to say that the church activities have become even more lively. Congratulations.
After the Shinbashira speech, the sixth head minister gave a message both in English and in Japanese for the first time in the Honjima Grand Church's history.
I would like to thank you sincerely for returning to the commemorative service. Today, we have been honored with the presence of the Shinbashira and Mrs. Harue Nakayama. And I am deeply grateful that we have just completed the service spiritedly and with joy in our hearts. In coming these two joys, the centennial service and the installation service, we have reserved the warm parental heart of the Shinbashira. I believe that it is due to the hardships and selfless sincerity of our predecessors over the past 100 years that we have been able to welcome this day. I am truly filled with gratitude. Just now, we received the Shinbashira's message. Those words were filled with parental love and concern. I firmly pledge to take these words as the spiritual goal in my daily life and make it a spiritual foundation upon which I strive toward the 120th anniversary of Oyasama. Though I am young and I now speak from this high place, may I humbly ask that you support me as you have supported our former head ministers. Thank you very much.
It was truly an honor to have the presence of the Shinbashira, the leader of the Tenrikyo Church, on this occasion of the Honjima Grand Church's centennial anniversary, along with the installation of the sixth head minister, Reverend Kanta Katayama. After the service, the entertainment, foods, drinks, and camaraderie between old friends began. The Honjima Fife and Drum Corps kicked off the entertainment. The Fife and Drum Corps was conceived in the mid-1960s and still plays at many church and community events. The Hawaii members then presented some authentic Hawaiian hula, which was enjoyed by more than 4,000 people in attendance. Finally, the entertainment concluded with members from all over the world singing "It's a Small World After All." People from all over the world attended the 100th anniversary of the Honjima Grand Church. We asked, what was your favorite event of the anniversary?
Heartwarming experience.
I would say the services and the special services that they had for individuals that needed that extra spiritual help.
A really nice anniversary.
Oh, the eating. That was the best. The eating and the drinking, and it was really great.
The most moving event for me was being able to interpret for the Shinbashira, which is not something that comes around very often in one's lifetime.
The ceremony for the new minister, head minister.
It was seeing everybody again. I grew up with a lot of the people that showed up. A lot of us came back and shared a lot of memories, hanging out with each other, sharing good times.
Well, the whole thing was just great. The weather was nice.
Service itself, the performance of the sitting service and the teodori hand dance.
We asked, how was the anniversary?
Fantastic.
Superb. Great.
I had a great time.
It was very successful.
I'll say the most awesome experience.
Very moving and uplifting.
Hectic, busy, worthwhile.
A very moving event.
Gee, I don't know what to say. To tell.
I think it was a wonderful event. Thank you.
Just spiritually rewarding.
It's a spirit and joy and salvation.
Awesome.
It's very good.
Together with the Shinbashira and his wife and other honored guests, the reverends and their wives from all over the world got together for a final picture in front of the Honjima Grand Church sanctuary. The Honjima Grand Church and Reverend Kanta Katayama welcome you to return to the Grand Church at any time to participate in prayer and service for a joyous life. If you would like more information about the Tenrikyo Church, please visit our website at tenrikyo.or.jp.